Most people think their parents' home is safe, but did you know that after they pass away, Medicaid can come after it to recover long-term care costs? That means that the home they worked so hard for could be used to pay back the government for the costs of their long-term care instead of staying in the family. But there's a way to protect it. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to prevent Medicaid from placing a lien on your parents' home so you don't see what's rightfully yours go to the government. Hi, I'm estate planning attorney Mike Smith with Smith Barid LLC. I'm one half of the estate planning guys. I help families just like yours secure their assets and avoid costly mistakes in estate planning. So stay with me because I'm about to break down the exact steps you can take today to safeguard your family's home. So let's talk a little bit about how Medicaid Estate Recovery works. Medicaid doesn't seize your parents' home while they're alive. There's a misconception out there that the government's going to come take my home, and that's just not true. But after they pass, federal law requires the states to attempt to recover the cost of their care from the estate. It's called estate recovery. There's some portion of the estate that's exempt. Different states have different amounts. $25,000 is the amount in a lot of states, but it can differ. But anything above that exempt amount can be claimed by the state through the Medicaid Estate Recovery, and they'll place a lien on any assets above that $25,000 that are part of your parents' estate. So this means that if your parents received long-term care benefits from Medicaid, Medicaid could force the sale of the home after their death to recover those costs, and that's required under federal law. What nobody understands until it's too late is that there are things you can do to protect the homestead. So let's talk about what you can do to protect the homestead. The first thing is, I urge everyone who's 55 plus to look into long-term care insurance. I know nobody wants it, but the reality of long-term care insurance is that 70% of people will wind up needing some sort of custodial care before they pass away in a nursing home, assisted living, etc. And long-term care insurance can help pay for that. And a lot of people say, well, gosh, I'm going to be one of the 30%. I'm never going to need it. And I know people who've done that, but that's unusual. Most people need some sort of nursing home care or custodial care before they pass away. So if you're afraid that you won't use it, you can look at other types of long-term care insurance. So there are now hybrid policies or life insurance with long-term care riders. And those types of policies, if you don't use it, your family will receive a life insurance benefit when you pass away. So it's not kind of a use it or lose it kind of proposition, which is what one of the big objections to long-term care insurance has been traditionally. The second thing you can do is that you can use a strategy to shield the home from Medicaid estate recovery by setting up an irrevocable trust. So an irrevocable trust, remember if you've watched our videos on revocable versus irrevocable, an irrevocable trust essentially means that it's set in stone once you do it, and you can't undo that. And that can seem a little frightening, I know, but in certain circumstances, it's a good thing to do. It's the right thing to do. In order to protect property from the Medicaid estate recovery, we can use an irrevocable trust. And the way it works is essentially we set the trust up, your parents transfer assets into the trust. Typically, they're going to have a trustee and beneficiary. One or some of the kids will serve in that role. And remember, there's a 5-year look back period for Medicaid. So you have to do this planning before you need it. So if you are having a conversation with your parents about long-term care, encourage them to investigate setting up a Medicaid asset protection trust now rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to put this off and worry about it later, because it may be too late if they wind up needing nursing home care and they haven't done the planning at least 5 years in advance. Oh, by the way, if you find this information helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps more families protect what they've worked so hard for. And you'll get if you click the notification bell, you'll get a notification anytime we put up a new video. We post usually 1 or 2 videos a week about different estate planning and elder law topics. So what can you do today? The first thing you need to do is talk to your parents now about protecting their home. So before a health crisis forces some kind of last-minute decisions to be made, and I can tell you from helping hundreds of families with these kinds of issues, that the earlier you do this, the more flexibility you have, the more options there are. If you wait to the last minute, it can make it very difficult. It can lead to, sort of choices that are not the best. You got to choose between several different options that aren't great. So the earlier you do it, the better. Set up an estate planning consultation to see if an irrevocable trust, a Medicaid asset protection trust might be right fit for your parents, and then learn about the Medicaid rules and exemptions so you can plan ahead. So, if you want to learn more about how trusts work, we've put together a free guide on estate planning essentials, and you can download that using the link in the description below. It goes to our resources page. There's a lot of resources on that page about different estate planning topics. So to quickly recap, Medicaid doesn't take your parents home while they're alive, but it can recover long-term care costs from their estate after they pass. The first $25,000, it may differ in your state, is exempt, but anything above that is at risk to this Medicaid lien. And an irrevocable trust can protect the home, but it must be set up at least 5 years in advance. And last thing is, take a look at long-term care insurance. If your parents are healthy, long-term care insurance, even if you pay for it, can be a great way to use other people's money to pay for long-term care. If you found this video helpful, check out our next video on the biggest estate planning mistakes to avoid. It could save your family thousands. I'm Mike Smith with the Estate Planning Guys.